For me personally, a villain is always the most interesting component of any story. Some serve as a catalyst for change for our protagonist, driving them to become the hero of the fiction. Others personify something more abstract, a theme or force employed at the purpose domination of the author, be it Satan as depicted in John Milton's Paradise Lost or Iago from Shakespeare's Othello. Good villains populate our fiction and entertainment in droves. There are those who exist merely to provide an obstacle for our hero. There are those whose pathos reveal an insight into the human condition. And then there are, in my opinion, the truly terrifying villains. Those who, through malice and cruel deed, reflect a mirror back at we the onlooker and reveal unto us the chilling nature of the universe itself. Two villains that encapsulate what I'm talking about perfectly are The Dark Knight's Joker and No Country for Old Men's Anton Chigurh. These two iconic movie villains are the quintessential embodiment of a universal fear. In the movie The Dark Knight, Batman meets his match when he comes up against the Joker, a man who embodies everything he fights against, a man who is essentially his opposite. The Dark Knight's Joker isn't terrifying simply because he's a madman hell-bent on anarchy. He's terrifying because he is a reflection of our hero. He and Batman are two sides of the same coin, order and chaos. One can't exist without the other, meaning Batman can never win his one-man war on crime. His entire endeavour, however noble it may seem, is futile, and the Joker is the unrelenting embodiment of this futility. There's something about this inescapable fatalism that speaks to a very human fear within us all. The fear that no matter what we do, we aren't in control. The resignation that all the terrible things in life, poverty, war, loss, heartache, are all things that we can never hope to overcome, only to endure. The Joker tells Batman,
"I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No. You complete me."
Here he demonstrates that he understands the nature of their relationship, of the eternal back and forth they personify. Furthermore, he says to Harvey Dent,
"I'm an agent of chaos." Oh, and you know the thing about chaos? It's fear.
Those final two words may be the most revelatory in the entire movie, and they bring us to another agent of chaos in No Country for Old Men's Anton Chigurh. Anton Chigurh is a hitman who has been hired to retrieve a fortune stolen by our protagonist Llewellyn Moss. Like the Joker, we learn little to nothing about his past, where he came from, or why he is the way he is. And, like the Joker, Chigurh has no significant character arc. This is because, again, like the Joker, Anton Chigurh isn't a character. He is a force, or a universal value transcendent of the narrative. He is cruel, relentless, unwavering, incorruptible, violent, and above all, indifferent. He is the nature of existence, the chaotic darkness that pervades the human condition. The character Carson Wells describes Chigurh thusly.
You don't understand. You can't make a deal with him. Even if you gave him the money back, he'd still kill you just for inconveniencing him. He's a peculiar man. I might even say he has principles that transcend money or drugs or anything like that. Not like you.
This is why Chigurh is so haunting, because he represents something that deep down we all fear to be true, that the world is subject to no higher law that precipitates innate goodness, and that human beings can be mad and bad without rhyme or reason, because evil needs not fear reprimand or repercussion, for the only force with any true significance in this universe is chaos. When men like Anton Chigurh are revealed, we are forced to stare directly into the cold, black void and question the meaning of life itself, a question many of us are too afraid to ask. There has to be a point to all of this, we tell ourselves. Why do we exist if there is no reason for our existence? But then, if life is fair, if there is justice in this universe, then how can a man capable of such wanton barbarism go unimpeded? How can we as a people rationalize that there is a point to any of this if a life can be snuffed out by another person on a sadistic whim, with no fear of cosmic repercussion? Where is the justice? What is the point? Chigurh brings brings these questions into sharp focus, and with acts of unimaginable cruelty, he forces us not to look away as he confronts us with the answers to those questions, the answers we all fear to be true. That there is no point to any of this, no rhyme or reason, no justice or karma, just chaos, and it doesn't matter if you're good or you're evil. Chaos does not discriminate.
It's fair.
Through violence and cruelty, Anton Chigurh suggests something that every day we try to deny. He suggests that life is ultimately futile and that all our dreams and loves, hopes and fears are irrelevant to the cosmic order, that we are irrelevant and our pretensions laughable. And therein lies the true heart of all fear, for what could be more terrifying than that, than all of this being of no consequence whatsoever? The ending of this movie is maybe my favourite ending to any movie ever. The character of Ed Tom Bell, played to perfection by Tommy Lee Jones, describes a dream he has to his wife. It's stark, it's abrupt, it's honest and quietly dignified, and though it's open to interpretation, I believe its meaning is clear. Take a look.
It was like we was both back in the older times, and I was a horseback, going through the mountains of the night, going through this pass in the mountains. It was cold and there was snow on the ground. He rode past me and kept on going, never said nothing going by, just rode on past. And he had his blanket wrapped around him and his head down. When he rode past, I seen he was carrying fire in a horn, the way people used to do, and I could see the horn from the light inside of it, about the color of the moon. And in the dream I knew that he was going on ahead. He's fixing to make a fire somewhere out there in all that dark and all that cold. And I knew that whenever I got there, he'd be there. And then I woke up.
Now, I believe that Ed's father represents hope, and that the fire he's going to build somewhere out there in all that dark and all that cold represents a light in the darkness, a possible salvation, a tiny morsel of optimism that maybe, just maybe, there is a plan, a point to all of this, and that there is a God even. And then he wakes up, never having reached that fire, and that just might be the most telling indictment of all. Ed's dream relates back to earlier in the movie, where after being exposed to the overwhelming evil of Anton Chigurh and the misery he has left in his wake, Ed confides in an old friend that he feels powerless.
I feel overmatched. I always figured when I got older, God would sort of come into my life somehow. He didn't. I don't blame him.
His friend goes on to tell Ed about another act of senseless violence that took place long before Chigurh. He tells him that
what you got ain't nothing new. This country's hard on people. You can't stop what's coming.
the funny thing is that Bruce Wayne and Alfred have almost the exact same conversation in The Dark Knight about the Joker. I'm sure you remember this one.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Both the Joker and Chigurh elevate themselves above other movie villains through embodying that which we cannot quantify and championing that which we fear most, our own insignificance, and the fact that out here, amid all this senseless violence, bigotry, evil and chaos, we just might be on our own.